for everyone that helped this morning. Really appreciate it. We're going to do two things. After the panel, we're going to break up into groups, or tables we call them. And I'm asking that no one sit at a table with your friends, if you can help it. We're expecting many more people, but we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we're going to get started with the panel. We're asking each panelist not to speak more than 5 minutes. Also, you can start by introducing yourself, and if you have like a minute's prayer you want to do, you can, but please keep it very short, or reflection, and then no more than 5 minutes, please, for your presentation. I'm going to let everyone speak, and then I will ask for questions, all right? So thank you. When you got the agenda, you notice the first question is the spirit of the nation broken? And if so, how? And what does that brokenness look like in terms of the impact on the individual and community? Is the spirit of the nation broken? If so, how? How does that brokenness look in terms of the impact on the individual and community? And we will start with Dr. Cohen.
Thank you. I'm Howard Cohen. I'm the Executive Director of the Dialogue Institute at Temple University. I teach a course in Society, Business, and Business Ethics at Temple's Fox School of Business and Management. I have spent a major part of my life in federal and state service and in business, but I've been teaching full-time or part-time, including on this campus, many years ago. So I've been teaching full-time and part-time for about 35 years. But I am not a certified researcher, because that's just not my thing. I came to the Dialogue Institute, and it was my privilege and pleasure to work with Dr. Leonard Swidler on my right here, who is the founder and intellectual leader of the Dialogue Institute. And if I could take maybe a 30th of his publications, I'd get tendered. But I'm always reminded that we all remember Socrates and the Socratic method, which I use in my classes. And Socrates, we have no writings of Socrates, but Plato, his student, wrote a lot. So I recently taught in LaSalle in a morning class, and I said, isn't it interesting, Plato would get tenure, but Socrates wouldn't. To get directly to the question that Dr. Wade has given us, is the spirit of the nation broken? How? I don't think the spirit of the nation is broken. First of all, spirit is too ephemeral a word to break. Secondly, I have grandchildren, so I read Humpty Dumpty to them. And I don't want to be in a position in this nation where we can't put it back together. So I don't think the spirit of the nation is broken, but I do think it is cracked and in need of serious repair. As I look out at you and across my colleagues on the panel, it always amazes me when I come to the interfaith world, as I have recently come with guidance from Len, that the people we need to attend these meetings and these sessions and these learnings and read the readings are never here. People who don't need it are here. And it's perhaps reinforcing, but it's nevertheless not exactly a way to get to those who really need to learn and open their minds, as Lance Swidler said in his opening remarks before, to dialogue. We need to start thinking more and more in terms of communities, in the plural. And we shouldn't just think that the national problems, and indeed there are a lot of them, are going to really affect our lives. My daughter, who lives in California, is very active in, and I'm proud of this, in immigrant settlement in California. And there are a lot of immigrants in California. Not so many in her community, but she reaches out. And the real work of repairing the spirit of the nation, I think, has to take more and more be done at the local and state level. I don't think you can look to the nation for some kind of huge repair job the way we did, for those of you that can remember this, Len and I are surely among them, during the Depression, when we had these huge national programs to put people to work, and we had these huge national programs. In my high school, we have a mural that was painted by the artists, I think it was in the WPA. So we need to work at that at the local level. We need more involvement at the local and state level. I think state governments are the secret weapon to a lot of this. We have to get people to open their minds to our differences. And I think one of the great capabilities and unique capabilities of the United States is its diversity. And how we do that is really the important question. We recently had a group of people from around from Austria and Egypt and Britain at the Dialogue Institute for the Kaisi Foundation, which is Saudi money funneled through an Austrian foundation, and it brought people who are in urban religious work. And the question was, how can religious institutions help alleviate, ameliorate some of the tensions and upsettingness that takes place in our urban world? And most of us live in an urban and suburban society. I'm reading this book called Hillbilly Elegy, which makes clear what life is in Appalachia, Kentucky. And those huge problems, many of which are, they try to settle with terrible drugs. So we need more of our work, and I don't think it's broken, but I think we better get busy before it is. Thank you.
Dr. Swidler, not Swidler.
He's the high-tech guy, all right.
About the nation, brokenness. If I were speaking German, instead of saying ja or nein, I would say jein. In many ways, we are in a trough in the United States. I think we're bottoming out. But this is not something that we should be feeling despair over, but rather seeing it one as an opportunity. And also to be aware that in life and in communities, narrow and wide, there's always a kind of systolic movement, contraction, expansion. Okay, contraction, expansions, back and forth. And we are obviously, in my judgment, in a contraction stage. And we should not feel, oh my God, like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. You know, it ain't falling, folks. Relax. I think when you're feeling down, let me recommend one book. It's very long, but it will give you your energy back. It's called Enlightenment Now. Steven Pinker from one of these other Ivy League schools. I think they call it Harvard. At any rate, I'm sorry to mention that in this praise, but still. It is full of statistics.
The economic.
Right. Telling us what our state is in all kinds of areas of human life, individual and communal, looking to the past and up to the present, projecting into the future. It will give us a great deal of encouragement not to become lackadaisical, self-satisfied, quite the opposite. We should now be able to see that there are new opportunities to improve things that we were unaware of before. Now, I should say something about dialogue, because that's what I was invited to talk about. As I indicated, of course, dialogue fundamentally means initially listening and talking together. And the reason why I want to talk with you who think differently from me is so I can learn. Here's a mantra I would like, two mantras I'd like to try to teach. Now, one goes, nobody knows everything about anything, therefore dialogue. Nobody knows everything about anything, therefore dialogue. Want to try it? Ready, set, go. Nobody knows everything about anything, therefore dialogue. Okay, I'll come back later today to test you. The other one is simpler. All knowledge is interpreted knowledge. Think about it. All knowledge is interpreted knowledge. Let me say as a Christian, hey, here's the Bible, supposedly the source of our understanding of the world and how to live. The Bible, guess what? It was originally written in Hebrew and in Greek. Raise your hands how many are fluent in both Hebrew and Greek. Not too many hands, right? So the Bible is just a bunch of paper with squiggly marks from some kind of ink on it until maybe in our cases gets translated out of the Hebrew and Greek into our languages that we understand. And even then, it's got to get into my head, your head, your head, your head. Notice my head, my mind, my thinking. It's like the bowl in which we pour the liquid jello. And so then, when we take it out of the bowl, guess what? It has the shape of the bowl. That's why my shape and your shape are different. I need to talk with you to learn things that I don't have, can't see, and vice versa. That's fundamentally what dialogue is. Very simple. Let me just mention three little practical things that we do at the Dialogue Institute, instead of just talking about dialogue. AIR. A, appreciative statement. So here we are, tense situation. The Jew and the Muslim sit down together. Instead of saying, well, I believe this, what do you believe, for example? Start out by saying, Muhammad, I really appreciate your stance on X, Y, or Z. You can find something that you agree with. You immediately establish a beginning basis of trust. no trust in dialogue, right? Okay. And appreciatively, hey, I make